Hi, this is Jenny, and I'm creating to inspire others. Today we're going to do colored pencil, a leaf floating in the water. This is part one. We will do the background, and in part two we will do the leaf. So for today's project we're going to talk about cool colors. We're going to use colored pencils this time, and we're going to get a leaf from a tree that kind of fills the paper, and we're going to trace it. Now you can always use stencils, or you can have the kids go out and get a leaf, whatever is easiest. All right, and so after that we're just going to you want to use a lighter touch and the side of the pencil more so than if you're up like this, because if you're like this it's going to be more direct, harder to blend. So you just want to have your light touch and go around the outside of your leaf. And this is where you can kind of blend in any of your little straggly marks that you might have. And you're going to do this all the way around your leaf. So for our first thing is we're going to outline the leaf with black. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything, because we will cover up any of those extra little lines that might be there. All right, so I have gone around with a little bit of a darker black, and then I did a row around that's a little bit lighter black. And now we're going to take our darker blue colored pencils. I'm just using like from a regular set, not all the different shades of blue. So when you mix it with the black there, you're going to get a darker shade because you'll have a shade of the blue. And you're going to go all the way around. Now I'm going to come all the way around like this a little bit too, because I eventually want to have blue going all around it like it's sitting in the water. So you can kind of, and not that I'm scribbling, you're going in the same direction, but you're going to go around. You'll go into the black to shade it a little bit, and you can always go back and add more black as you're doing this. You can round your corners because you don't necessarily want them to be sharp. So you're going to do this all the way around, and then I will be back for the next part. Okay, so now we have added blue, probably about 3/4 of an inch around our leaf shape. And now we're going to go back, and instead of adding more black, which we might add some more black to that shading, we're going to add purple. So we're going to add the purple and blend it over the black and over the blue. And it's just going to give us a gradual coloring. We're doing a side of the pencil and we're doing light, so it'll be kind of like that. We're doing it between the black and the blue, and it's going to just blend that color together. You're going to try to keep the shape of the leaf because it's just laying in the water, and we're going to do something else here in a minute over that. But if you just blend it all together, the black and the blue together, you can go over the blue a little bit to add it, make it look a little darker. But that's what we're going to do all the way around. All right, I'll be back in a minute. All right, so you can see that I did a darker purple here with more pressure, and then I came out all the way out to here with a lighter pressure just to add a few little highlights, shading, etc. So it's not just a pure blue out here. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take my blue again, and I'm going to go around the outside. I'm going to do a little bit harder. You don't want it to be perfect. You don't want to have a line per se. So you want to kind of go into where you were, and then you want to remember to, keep your leaf shape. somewhat. And then always turn your paper to make it easier. So like I have this here, but then I would turn my paper to make that easier. If you're left-handed, you would, you know, turn it the other way. Whatever works for you. And just kind of go around like that with a little bit more pressure. And we're gonna keep doing that. We're gonna go to a lighter color next and do the same thing till we get out to the outside of the paper. So we're getting less precise with our coloring as we go out. We always go back over. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this light blue. It's just a light blue, Crayola light blue. And we're just gonna go around the outside again. And we can just go a lot farther out, actually. Probably to the end of the edge of the paper on all of it. And we can just add some other colors with it as we go. So you're gonna do that all the way around and just turn your paper as you go. So I just realized that I did not hit play when I colored this in. So I colored the whole background with the lighter blue. And then I went over and just kind of went over with the blue and the purple back and forth. Not coloring it in per se, just adding some different tones all within where the color blending is. And if you notice that if you glue your wrist down, you have a curve. And that's always helped me with coloring, because then you're on the side of the pencil and you just keep on going. All right, so now we have our leaf that is white and it's floating in the water. And we've got some little ripples and highlights in the water. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our leaf. So we did our cool colors. We did a blending with them. We did purple and blue, and we used our eraser to erase these. Now, if you wanted to and you had the materials and the time to let things dry, you could always use acrylic paint to do the highlights around, and that is a possibility. But if you want to just use colored pencils, then the eraser works just fine.